if you want to chat, please go out on the balcony. If not, please, we'll be sending the athletes out there for the weigh-in in a minute. If you want to stay in here where it's warm, if you could please no, hold your chatter so we could do the press conference. My name's Gary Abbott, and I'm the Director of Communications at USA Wrestling.
Yep.
I'd like to welcome you all to the 6th straight year that Beat the Streets New York has held a competition, an international wrestling event here in New York as part of their Gala Week, where they do their major fundraising for the youth wrestling programs and high school wrestling programs here in New York City. Tomorrow, we will return to the Times Square area. We're going to be in our original location right in Duffy Square on 46th Street. This is called the Salsa in the Square because the United States and our friends from Cuba will be competing in wrestling in all 3 Olympic styles. We're going to see athletes that are expected to compete at this year's World Championships, which are in Las Vegas, as well as 2016 Olympic Games in Rio de Janeiro. So this should be a great competition. Time schedule, 4 o'clock start for the youth matches. Between 5:30, 5:45, we'll start with the senior matches. And for everyone's knowledge, the event will be shown both on NBC Sports Network and Universal Sports Network with a live webcast being provided by Flow Wrestling. So we look forward to a great weekend of wrestling here. Again, the Times Square location has been very popular. We expect a nice group of people to be there supporting all these great athletes. At this time, I'd like to have an introduction and a welcome. Jim Fallis, who's Executive Director of Beat the Streets, is going to come up and talk to you a little bit about the mission of this event and why we do this every year. Jim?
Okay. 1 second, please. Please speak in Spanish because everybody won't understand.
Yeah.
I'm going to try to translate all of that. Lo que el Señor le quería decir es que mañana nosotros vamos a comenzar a las 5:45 con los cines, ¿verdad? Está hablando de la organización Beat the Street, que ellos están poniendo esto junto, los invitados a ustedes aquí que entren, que se quedaron aquí. La organización se aprecia mucho con la lucha. Estimamos mucho que ustedes vinieron aquí, pero él en realidad habló de que va a estar en la televisión a una propia hora, que nada más de la oración que vamos a tener mañana.
Thank you, Raphael. Really appreciate that. On behalf of Beat the Streets, we'd like to welcome everybody here. And we are very excited to have our friends from Cuba join us for the first time at our gala. The event is, as Gary has said, it's the 6th year. It is really the brainchild of the chairman of our board, Mike Novogratz, and it's grown every year. We're very excited this year to have a partnership with Flow and Flow Sports, and they're going to be live webcasting it. And we're also going to then be tape delayed on NBC Sports Network. So that's going to be phenomenal. We're getting more and more press all the time. For us, it's very exciting because for us, it raises the funds that we so desperately need to provide for the students that are here in New York City and get them involved in the sport of wrestling. We're excited with the lineup. We're excited with to have one of our own featured in the prime time this year. Rosemary Flores is back with us, a college All-American, and she'll be wrestling and representing Beat the Streets in a very fine fashion. We're really excited about that. I want to thank personally the president of our board, Kara Berry, who's here with us today, and also the team leader for the 2016 women's team. And I want to thank New York Athletic Club for their support and everything that they've done in helping us host this event here. and then I am going to turn it over to Gary, and hope everybody has a great time today and tomorrow. Thank you.
Jim es el director de Beat the Streets. Beat the Streets es la organización que lo trajeron a ustedes aquí. Ellos están muy orgullosos que ustedes vinieron y nosotros usamos este evento para este evento para coger dinero, para inventar dinero para los niños que son estudiantes aquí en Nueva York. Este evento va a ser una cena después del evento, y en esa cena la gente paga dinero para que nosotros usamos ese dinero, entonces para invitarlo en los programas que tenemos en Nueva York para que los niños luchan. El presidente de Beat the Street se llama Mike Novogratz, y no está aquí, pero él está muy estimado que por la primera vez Cuba está en los Estados Unidos. Y nosotros también, sin embargo, tenemos una niña que ella se creció aquí, luchó por Nueva York en high school y ahora está luchando aquí en este evento. Pues el director, Jimmy, y el presidente de Beat the Streets está muy orgulloso que ustedes vinieron y que esto es algo tal vez que nosotros podemos hacer en el futuro.
At this time, we're going to introduce the team leader for the Cuban delegation, just to ask him to talk about the reason that the Cuban team came here and about the friendship we have with the Cuban Federation. Their team leader, Eduardo Perez, and also if we can open up for 1 to 2 questions. Obviously, they'll be available afterwards. But I'd like to present Eduardo Perez, team leader for the Cuba Federation. And again, could you ask him just to talk a little bit about why they're here and our friendship with our wrestling teams?
Las amistades que ustedes tienen con USA Wrestling. No, usted habla mejor inglés que yo.
Bien, buenos días a todos. Ante todo, agradecer a la organización de Beat Street y a la Federación de Lucha de Estados Unidos por haber hecho esta invitación que, a mi modesto criterio, en mi opinión personal, es un 21 de mayo histórico para una nueva apertura de las relaciones entre estas federaciones y para el deporte nuestro.
Says, he appreciates the organization Beat the Streets and the alliance and the friendship that they have built. Especially, this is a historic moment, all right, in their country and in ours, because our relationship is being built, and it's the first time that Cuba is coming into the United States. It's been a very long time, and they appreciate that as well, to be invited so early in the, when the negotiations are opening up.
Es un noble objetivo y una causa muy humana el motivo por el que Beat Street realiza esta actividad.
It's a very humanistic endeavor that Beat the Street has taken on.
Pero no podemos alejarnos de la parte deportiva que también desarrolla este evento, teniendo en cuenta que en este año 2015 es un año histórico para el deporte de la lucha, ya que los mundiales juveniles y de adultos clasificatorios olímpicos se desarrollarán en nuestro continente.
It's a very historic moment as well, because the Pan Am Games are being held. Also, sports plays a great role in the relationship that countries have, and it's played a great role here.
Si sumamos que en el 2016 los Juegos Olímpicos se celebrarán también en nuestro continente, este es un día que nos permite reflexionar acerca de que la unidad de la lucha en nuestro continente puede demostrar las potencialidades de nuestro deporte para los continentes de Europa, África, Asia.
It's historical that the Olympics are going to be held in our continent, and we want to show the rest of the world, Europe, Africa, the rest of the continent, how strong we are. There's an alliance between us because we are in the same continent. So we're not just a team, the US and Cuba, we're really a continental team, and we want to beat them.
Beach Street nos está dando la oportunidad de demostrarle al mundo que Estados Unidos y Cuba son eternos rivales a nivel de continente, pero disfrutamos los triunfos de ambos países cuando nos enfrentamos a atletas de otras latitudes.
So Beat the Streets has given us a great opportunity to show the rest of the world that yes, we are individual teams, but when we step on the mat, we're a continental team. We represent our continent.
Estamos convencidos de que esta actividad va a ser una nueva apertura, un nuevo momento, un momento histórico para demostrarle al mundo las acciones humanitarias que se pueden hacer a través del deporte y a través de esta organización que utiliza una actividad tan sana como el deporte para hacer acciones humanitarias con los niños.
We are clear and certain that the relationship that we're forming with Beat the Streets, as well as the competition that we're going to have, is going to be historical, and the world will take note of it. It's not just a competition of athletes, but it's a humanitarian endeavor that Beat the Street has taken, and they're very grateful to it.
Una vez más, muchas gracias y a la organización y a la Federación de Estados Unidos de Lucha.
We'll go to a question. Anyone has a...
Any questions? Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
You have a question?
Yeah, we got a little bit.
Oh, wait, I have one here.
How did this come about? Who reached out to whom?
Oh, okay.
But that might be a Jim question first, and then we'll...
Okay, well, I didn't know if it was, I don't know who, you know.
Well, and so you guys also know, we've been sending teams to Cuba for about 25 years. So we go there all the time. They don't come here quite as often. So I think Jim could probably talk about how this year's event was created, because every year Beat the Streets gets organized and comes up with a wonderful idea. Jim?
El señor preguntó cómo esto comenzó, quién llamó, Cuba llamó aquí, fue nosotros que lo llamamos a ustedes, cómo es que nosotros nos encontramos con ustedes aquí.
So the question about how this came about, shortly after last year's event, we started talking, Kira and Chairman Novogratz started talking about what are we going to do next year. Of course, Mike always is looking for the next big bang, and he said, you know, we've been bringing people in from overseas. What can we do here in this continent? And so he said, we're going to bring in Cuba. Cuba's got a great team. They've got great wrestlers. They're fun to watch. They're exciting to watch. He said, let's bring in the Cubans. And that's really how it got started. And I think that occurred in November. We started having that conversation and started working on it.
Kara, where are you? Kara. Okay, esa señora se llama Kara y el presidente de Beat the Streets es Mike Novogratz. En noviembre, ellos siempre están buscando, porque en realidad nosotros tenemos este evento cada año y siempre traemos los rusos o un equipo para hacer un evento grande, ¿verdad? Y Mike Novogratz, ellos estaban hablando y alguien dijo, mira, ¿por qué no traemos los cubanos? Los cubanos son un equipo que todo el mundo le encanta admirar, son un equipo excelente en su forma, en su lucha. Y entonces cuando él decidió eso, así fue que comenzó ellos llamándolo a ustedes o a la organización de ustedes para traerlo.
That help?
Yeah, one more question.
I'm sorry.
Pero es para los cubanos. ¿Fue difícil obtener las visas para este evento? Visas de luchadores, visas por luchadores.
De ninguna manera. La Oficina de Intereses de Estados Unidos, cada vez que se presentan los pasaportes solicitando las visas para eventos deportivos, han tenido una actitud excelente en cuanto a las necesidades de las agencias de viaje. ¿Qué quiero decir con esto? En una ocasión teníamos que salir de viaje y nos cambiaron los boletos para mañana. Y en la oficina nos hicieron la entrevista hoy por la mañana, por la tarde nos entregaron los pasaportes visados y pudimos rápidamente ir para el aeropuerto para poder viajar. Siempre han tenido las mejores relaciones con nosotros e incluso cada vez que va el equipo nacional de Estados Unidos a participar en nuestro evento Torneo Cerro Pelado y Granma, la encargada de actividades culturales y deportivas de la oficina participa en las ciudades deportivas con el equipo. Y lo único que podemos decir que se mantengan las relaciones como hoy, que es lo que ha traído como consecuencia la viabilidad en este proceso.
Gracias.
It sounds real good.
Hey man, I was going to skip this one.
It was super easy to get the visas, right? I mean, that's basically.
It was, yeah. So the question was the visas. Was it difficult to get the visas? And he said no. In reality, it actually was really simple, and it happened really quickly. You know, the request was made, and you know the papers were signed, and they got the visa, and the very next day they got their permission to travel. And it usually, didn't say that, but in our history, it usually never happens like that. So it was Cuba is so interested in building the relationship that they really acted quickly. So it's a great sign for future relationships between us and Cuba.
Thank you very much, sir. At this point, we're going to bring up some coaches for short statements about their teams, both the American and Cuban coaches in each style. We'll start with our national freestyle coach, Bruce Burnett. Let's just say a little bit about our freestyle athletes. We're going to have, 7 freestyle matches? In men's freestyle. Coach Burnett?
Yeah, I'd like to take the opportunity to thank Beat the Streets and really what this mission is really all about, and the 3,000 kids that are serviced by Beat the Streets. And but the wrestling part of it, that's why we're here. Our guys, we have 3 world medalists in our lineup, and Cuba also has 3 world medalists in their lineups. They're always talented, they always compete hard, and so it's a good opportunity for us at this point where we're at in our training to test our skills against some of the best wrestlers in the world. And it's always fun to compete against them. They're always competitive, and we look forward to that opportunity. And it's just a fun event, but make no mistakes, winning's a lot of fun.
Thank you, Coach.
You bet.
El señor Burnett le está dando la gracia a Beat the Streets por organizar este evento. Los Estados Unidos tienen 3 gente que son campeón mundial o han ganado un medal, y los cubanos también tienen 3. Y esto es un evento que el señor dice que vamos a jugar mucho, vamos a tener un buen tiempo, pero ellos quieren ganar, como los cubanos. Pues se alegra mucho que ustedes están aquí y vamos a luchar, pero vamos a tener un buen tiempo.
We would now like to introduce Julio Mendita, the freestyle coach for Cuba. Just please tell us about your freestyle team here. Okay?
Buenas tardes. Primero que todo, también agradecer como lo han hecho los que me han anticipado en este evento. Decirle que nosotros venimos con el mejor equipo de Cuba. Ahí, como ustedes pueden apreciar, se encuentran los 4 medallistas mundiales del 2014, el atleta de la edición de 57 kilogramos, el de 74, el 86 y el 97. Como ven, vinimos con el equipo de lujo a participar en este evento. Creemos que va a ser, de hecho, un gran evento solamente por la invitación, y lo que vamos a realizar en el Beat Street es una competición como lo hemos hecho siempre. Nuestros adversarios son de calidad extrema, por lo tanto creo que va a ser un evento de lujo para todos los que nos encontramos aquí. De hecho, estamos muy agradecidos por esta invitación. Las relaciones entre los entrenadores, entre los atletas, como ustedes pueden apreciar, es la mejor. Quiere decir de hecho, felicitar a todos los que de una forma u otra han hecho posible que este evento pueda ser posible. Muchas gracias.
So first he wants to thank Beat the Street and the organization that has brought the Cuban team here. You're going to notice that the athletes that they brought are stars. They brought 4 of their top athletes. They brought their illustrious team, their superstars from Cuba. You're going to like the event. Their team is strong. Their team is the best team that they could put together. So, they're honored that they were invited. They think you're going to like the presentation and the wrestling that's going to take place. And just really grateful to have the opportunity to compete in New York.
Thank you. Thank you, Coach. We next switch to our women's freestyle coaches. We have 4 matches for the women here. Obviously, the United States has been a world power in freestyle, but our Cuban women's team is getting better and better and better, and we're real excited to be able to host them. So we'll start with our national freestyle coach, Terry Steiner, talk a little bit about the women that are wrestling for the United States tomorrow. Coach?
Well, as the other coaches have said, we're very excited to be a part of the the event this week, and we thank Beat the Streets for inviting us and having the women included in this. I'm really excited that the Cuban delegation has also brought women with them. It hasn't been that long. We've been a part of the Olympic program since 2004, and shortly after that, the Cuban Federation decided to add women to their program as well, and they have a long track of success with their freestyle and Greco programs, and I see their women's program building up in the same way. So we have a good team here this week as well. We have world medalists, Olympic medalists, world champions in our lineup. We also have Rosemary Flores, who was part of the first, as a senior in high school, she was part of the first New York City All-Girls Freestyle League. So it shows what this program is doing, and I really think that's what this sport is all about. It's about our older athletes and our current stars giving back and helping build the stars of tomorrow and future stars. So we're excited to be a part of the event, and we hope to have some great fun along the way.
los Estados Unidos tienen un buen equipo de mujeres. Ese programa comenzó en 2004, yo creo, y ahora que Cuba, que tiene equipos de lucha, son muy fuertes en Greco-Roman, muy fuertes en la lucha libre. Ellos esperan que las mujeres, ellos entienden que ustedes están comenzando, pero como los hombres y las mujeres que son tan fuertes, ellos esperan que ustedes también se entrenando y la competición cuando ustedes tienen más experiencia van a competir como los hombres. Le da la gracia a Beat the Streets también, le da la gracia a la organización que le da a Nueva York tanto dinero para entrenar a los niños que están en la escuela. Y nosotros tenemos una niña que vino de ese programa, Rosemary. Rosemary, why don't you raise your hands? Ella era una alumna aquí en Nueva York, fue una de las niñas que comenzó luchando aquí y ahora ella está luchando con el equipo de los Estados Unidos. Si puedo decir algo que se me olvidó de decir, que yo creo que era muy importante, que Julio dijo, no es nada mala lucha, pero es la relación que nosotros tenemos con ustedes. Ellos no saben, ¿verdad? O esta gente no sabe que ustedes todos se conocen. Eso no es nada nuevo para ustedes. Ustedes, nosotros no sabemos eso, pero ustedes son amigos. Y lo más importante es las amistades que nosotros tenemos con ustedes o los atletas que tienen. Pues, perdón por no entrar en eso antes. What I had said is I forgot to mention before is what I had mentioned is they know each other, the athletes. The athletes are friends, and the coaches. This is not anything new, or we may not know, but they have such long friendships that they've developed throughout the years. This isn't, they appreciate that it's more than just wrestling for them. They're getting together with friends. They're getting together with people that have known for a long time. It's almost magic.
And our coach for the Cuban women's team, Elio Garraway, just a short speech, a little bit about your women wrestlers.
Si usted puede decir algo de las niñas que usted tiene que van a luchar.
Primero que todo, agradecerle a todos los presentes por esta invitación que nos han hecho. Igual de forma general al pueblo de Estados Unidos. Nosotros, al igual que el equipo femenino aquí en Estados Unidos, iniciamos la lucha femenina en el 2009. En estos momentos hemos ido dando pasos, avances muy importantes, gracias al apoyo incluso que hemos tenido de la Federación Norteamericana, ya que hemos participado en varios torneos internacionales en nuestro país y hemos tenido la posibilidad de hacer entrenamientos conjuntos que han sido muy provechosos junto con el profesor que me antecedió del femenino. Y en estos momentos tenemos un equipo, a pesar de la juventud del grupo, un equipo bastante competitivo, por lo que pensamos darle un gran espectáculo en la lucha femenina allá por los Estados Unidos, que es lo más importante de este evento.
So they started their program in 2009. They've gone to a lot of tournaments. They've been very competitive. Terry Steiner, the women's coach, has gone down there. And the U.S. team has worked out with them and has really helped them out and improved them. So they appreciate the opportunity to compete, and he feels they will be stronger and they will get better as the years go on. And they will get better because of the relationship that they have with us.
In addition, we'll get to see some great Greco-Roman wrestling. We have two real great matchups here in Greco-Roman. I'd like to ask our national coach, Matt Linlin, to chat a little bit about his wrestlers and just the challenge we face every year wrestling Cuba.
I just want to thank Beat the Streets for having Greco involved in this event. I believe it's the first time, and we're excited. And we brought two of our our best stars, Spencer Mango and Andy Bisick here. I've been traveling to Cuba, believe it or not, since 1988. That was my first international trip, and I love the country, I love the people, a lot of great friends over there, amigos, and well, I've only competed against Cuba one time in the United States, and now I'm coaching, and a couple of the guys I competed against are now head coaches for other countries. Nestor's in Chile, and well, I think Squee, he was at Italy, right? But is he back in Cuba now, helping you guys out again? Okay, so he's back on the staff, and so a lot of history, a lot of relationships. I've been in their houses, and there's a great opportunity to have them back here. And so the people that are, wondering what this is all about, it's about competition, it's about camaraderie and friendship, and that's what we're about. And I'm just blessed to have a couple of our biggest stars competing in Greco-Roman.
Bueno, ustedes lo conocen, ¿verdad? Él lo que dijo que él ha ido a Cuba antes, él luchó aquí, cubano, pero él ha ido a su país muchas veces, se ha quedado ahí, lo conoces bien, son amistades, y le da la gracia a Beat the Street para poner a Greco-Roman en esta oración, y que ustedes son amigos, y ahora la gente que él luchaba antes son coaches, un coach en Chile, un coach en Italia, yo creo que dijo, pero muy orgulloso que ustedes están aquí y que son amigos, es como una familia.
And I'd like to introduce the Cuban Greco coach, who I saw wrestle. He was a wonderful athlete, fantastic wrestler, Mario Oliveira.
Bueno, primero que todo quisiéramos dar las gracias a la organización del evento por habernos invitado, sobre todo porque, según lo que he entendido, es la primera vez que está la Greco incluida, ¿no?, en la competencia de NYAC. Y los atletas que tenemos nosotros aquí en la Greco, a lo mejor no son muy conocidos, pero en estos momentos son los dos campeones nacionales en esa categoría de peso. Es decir, estamos compitiendo contra un equipo americano de Greco que en esta específica división tiene un atleta que es bronce mundial, que tiene buen nivel, y esperemos que se dé todo bien, que ganen mejor, ojalá que sean nosotros. Esperemos que todos, por lo menos el show, la competencia, y sobre todo que la pasemos bien y nos divirtamos un poco en la competencia. Oye, gracias.
So once again, he wants to thank the organization, Beat the Streets, for putting this together. It's not the first time that we have had Greco, maybe in a while. But you may not know his Greco wrestlers. They're not as famous as some of the other guys, but they are national champion. They are the best in the country, and he hopes that you'll be entertained by the competition. He thinks it's going to go well, and hopefully the best wrestler will win. Hopefully it'll be his.
So, we have 15 matches, and I'd love to have 15 sets of speaking athletes that come up and tell us their life story and how excited they are. But we're going to have time at the end if you'd like to speak to athletes. I did want to call up two athletes that are wrestling that are both world finalists in their weight classes, just to say a little bit. These two athletes, they're at 86 kilos. They've wrestled each other twice already. Both are among the best in the world, and I'd like to start with Jake Herbert of the United States to talk about his match against Renares Salas. Jake Herbert, Olympian.
We just want to first thank Beat the Streets, obviously, for being here. You know, my job as a wrestler is to put on a show and entertain when I'm out there. Salas has been in the World Finals for the last 2 years. Both of us have yet to win gold, and I know that's what both of us are training for. And a lot of people maybe look at that and say, hey, well, you're going against one another. Doesn't that make him, an enemy or a competitor or whatever? But, I look at him as a great friend, because to beat him, who's one of the best in the world, I have to bring my best out. So he's going to bring out the best in me. And I can't hate anybody or ever dislike anybody who brings out the best in me. So he's only going to help me to achieve my peak. And that's what it's about. It's about, the friendship, about how sports can essentially overcome any, thing that political government did. We've seen that happen with Russia and Iran and Cuba and USA when we all got together to save Olympic wrestling. So the greatest thing about this event is it's going to fund wrestling, which I think is, the greatest thing in the world that brings us together. It's absolute human nature. Every single person in this room has wrestled at some point in time, whether that's, fooling around as a little 2 or 3 year old. So that's something that we all can relate with. And I'm very excited for that. I'm even more excited that this is going to a great cause like Beat the Streets, which gets over 3,000 kids out of the streets onto the mat, and it shows them a platform which has given me everything in life. I have a college degree, I'm an Olympian, everything I've gotten to do is because of the sport of wrestling. So I'm very thankful to be here and very honored to take place in this event. Thank you guys.
Jake dijo que le da muchas gracias a Beat the Streets por tener este evento y también que es las amistades que él tiene con usted, con el luchador. Eso no es algo eso no es una competencia de que no le gusta o que tienen algo contra. Es algo porque él es un luchador de gran clase, ¿sabes? Es un luchador que es tan bueno que él lo hace a él mejor. Cuando uno hace una competencia con alguien que es una categoría alta, eso es algo que uno apoye, porque uno trae su mejor entonces. Y lo agradezco mucho que los dos van a estar ahí. Eso no para quien gana, es nada más el amor de luchar y entonces quién ganó ese día. También está hablando de los niños que este evento va a ayudar, el dinero que el party después de la lucha va a traer para ayudar a todos los niños en Nueva York.
I would like to introduce René Salas, the wrestler at 86 kilo, to talk about his match.
Thank you. Bueno, primero que todo, buenas tardes a todos los presentes. Yo de igual manera me siento contento que él esté luchando nuevamente. Se recuperó una lesión que tuvo en su hombro. En el 2013 yo fui uno de los atletas que le dije que él tenía que seguir luchando porque es un buen luchador, como todos lo han visto, es un campeón del mundo. Y yo apoyo las palabras que dice él. Nosotros somos un equipo que somos bastante unidos en la medida de las posibilidades. Casi todos los atletas de Estados Unidos que están aquí han ido a participar a la competencia en Cuba. Y sabe que los que estamos presentes aquí somos luchadores con el corazón, porque no tenemos la mitad de las posibilidades que los luchadores del mundo tienen. Por eso yo quisiera que ustedes tengan en cuenta todo el esfuerzo que lo que hacemos lo hacemos por amor, porque las condiciones no están. Y sin embargo estamos aquí para dar lo mejor de nosotros en la competencia y que todo salga bien. Éxito a todos.
They don't have the opportunities that we have. They don't have the funding that we have. But there's one thing that they do have. They wrestle from the heart, just like the Americans do. Him and Jake have been friends for a long time. He's out, when Jake got hurt, he was one of the people that, talked to him and told him, don't stop, heal, and then come back out on the mat. So he encouraged him to come back. he appreciates what Beat the Streets is doing for them. He wants you to understand that, you know, for the Cuban team, you know, this is a great event. They're honored to be here, and you know, they're competitors. They're gonna compete here. They're gonna compete with their heart, with honor, and they appreciate being here. Thanks.
Okay, at this point I'd like to kick the athletes out onto the patio and we'll do a quick weigh-in for each weight class. So you guys put your jackets on, it's a little cold out there. We're going to go in the order of the matches. So first on the scale will be the American, and then second will be the Cuban athlete in each weight. We're going to get their fighting weight. And working as our unofficial weighmaster is Ken Bigley of Beat the Streets, Cuba.
Good job.
Athletes, please.
Should have helped me out. This guy should have been.
No, you were better.
Wow, there you go.
Okay. We will start with our women athletes. And they will pose for a photo as well after they weigh in.
The event itself tomorrow starts at...
Okay, guys, let's get this started, please. Quiet in the back, please. Okay, here we go. Bout number one, our American competitor, Olympic bronze medalist, military world champion, number 18 in the world right now in the rankings, Randy Miller. 76 kilograms. Randy, stand right here, please. And her opponent from Cuba, number 16 ranked in the world, Pan American champion, second at Cerro Pelado. 73 kilo, Yudaris Sanchez Rodriguez. Please shake hands.
For warmth.
No problem.
Our next women's bout for the United States, third and fourth in the college nationals, third in our university nationals, competitor for Curtis High School on Staten Island, New York. This is Rosemary Flores. Rosemary Flores. $65. 65 kilos, Rosemary. And her opponent, who is the Cerro Pelado champion the last 2 years, Jacqueline Stornell Elistoc of Cuba, 66 kilos. Thank you. Bout three for the United States. She's an Olympic bronze medalist, world champion, fifth in the 2008 Olympic Games. This is Clarissa Chun. 52 kilograms. Her opponent, third in the Pan American Junior Championships. This 18-year-old is really coming on up. Yusnelis Guzman Lopez. 52.5 kilos. That's.
You guys coming? Yeah.
They want us close.
There you go. Our fourth women's match from the United States, a world silver medalist, world bronze medalist, Pan Am Games champion, four-time college national champion, currently ranked 2 in the world, Helen Maroulis. .61 kilograms. Her opponent, who's a Pan American champion and a Cerro Pelado champion, Yamilka del Valle Alvarez. .59.5 kilos. Please. Okay, we're going to go to a college wrestling match. This is a special challenge match just here for Beat the Streets with 2 Americans. Our first athlete, two-time NCAA champion, 3-time All-American, junior world silver medalist, originally from Wisconsin, representing Oklahoma State University, Alex Derringer. He's the reigning Division I champion. $83 kilos, Alex. His opponent, a 3-time Division II national champion, 110 wins, no losses in Division II wrestling. He's from Notre Dame College, a California native, Joey Davis. 84.5 kilos, Joey. Thank you, gentlemen. So let's switch to Greco-Roman. We'll start with, from the United States, he's 3rd in the World Championships, 3-time World Team member, 2-time US Open champion, currently ranked 10 in the world, Andy Bissick. Wow. 82.5 kilos, Andy. His opponent, Urasande Hernandez Rios, twice 2nd in the Granma Cup in Cuba. $81 kilos, gentlemen. Thank you. Bout 7 is a Greco-Roman bout for the United States. Got a 2-time Olympian, 5th in the world the last 2 years. 7 US Open titles. Ranked number 12 in the world, Spencer Mango. $64 kilos, Spencer. His opponent, ranked number 20 in the world, 2-time Pan Am champion, 2-time junior world bronze medalist, Megil Anash Lamut. 65 kilos, gentlemen. Thank you. We now switch up to men's freestyle, bout number 8. These are the heavyweights. The American, ranked number 9 in the world, 2-time world bronze medalist, 5th in the Olympic Games, World University champion, 2-time Division II national champion, Tervel Dolognev. (122 kilos). His opponent, 2nd in the Pan Am Championships, Central American and Caribbean champion, Andres Ramos Dinsa. (106 kilos). Gentlemen. Thank you. Next, we move the wind here. 57 kilograms from the United States, ranked 13 in the world, world team member, U.S. Open member, U.S. Open champion this year, NCAA champion at Iowa, Tony Ramos. 66.5 kilos. His opponent, currently ranked number 3 in the world at the next weight class up, 3rd in the World Championships and the Olympian, Yalis Bani Rodriguez from Cuba. $60 kilos, gentlemen. Thank you. Here we are, bout number 10. It's at 97 kilos for the United States. Junior world champion, junior world bronze medalist, U.S. Open champion, NCAA runner-up this year for Ohio State, Kyle Snyder. $101.5 kilos. Kyle. His opponent with a number 6 world ranking, 3rd in the 2014 World Championships, won the last 2 Pan American Championships and an Olympian, Javier Cortino Lacera. $105.5 kilos. Gentlemen. Thank you. Bout number 11, 65 kilograms for the United States. He's a 3-time world team member, 2-time U.S. Open champion, 2 straight World Cup titles, 2-time NCAA champion, Hodge Trophy winner. This is Brent Metcalf, ranked number 5 in the world right now. 74 kilos, Brent. His opponent, Pan American champion, Cerro Pilado champion, Franklin Marin Castillo. That's 72 kilos, gentlemen. Thank you. Okay, bout number 12. This is 74 kilos. Starting in the United States, got a U.S. Open champion, 3rd in the World University Games, 2-time Dan Hodge Trophy winner and NCAA champ for Penn State. This is David Taylor. 80 kilos. His opponent, ranked number 3 in the world, Olympic bronze medalist, second in the World Championships, 2 times bronze medalist in the World Championships, Livan Lopez Azqui.
Okay.
70 kilos, 80 kilos, gentlemen. We met these guys earlier. This is the 86 kilo match. World silver medalist, Olympian, 4-time US Open champion, NCAA champion, and Hodge Trophy winner in Northwestern. This is Jake Herbert.
Thank you.
91 kilos. His opponent, ranked number 3 in the world, 2-time world silver medalist, 3rd in the 2010 World Championships, Reneris Salas Perez.
$94.
94 kilos. Gentlemen, shake hands here. Next we go to the final match of the evening. This is at 74 kilograms for the United States. Olympic champion, 2-time world champion, world bronze medalist, 2-time NCAA champion, and Hodge Trophy winner, ranked number 2 in the world, Jordan Burroughs.
It's the cell phone in my pocket.
This is their fighting weight, guys. 80 kilos. His opponent, currently a number 19 ranking in the world. He was 3rd in the Pan American Championships this year, 2nd in the Cerro Pelado, Luis Quintana Martinez. 81 kilos. Gentlemen.
The Floyd Mayweather of wrestling.
Okay, well listen, I appreciate everyone's patience. We wanted to make sure that we had the interpretation services. Our athletes are available for one-on-ones. Hope you had as much fun as I did. Thank you for coming.